we're showing like a character on the spectrum and what they're going through, but also showing like how can someone who's neurotypical be a good friend or like a caregiver.
I love that. Apparently, hindi pala normal na kaya mo matulog with just, kaya mo na you just have 1 hour of sleep and be functional for more than 24 hours. I thought that
Oh,
was normal. I thought that was normal. And she was like, dude, ganyan ako. And apparently, it's a symptom pala of bipolar
oh,
disorder. So, I was like, okay. So, I had to get checked.
Life doesn't always go as planned. Pero what if the wrong turns lead us exactly where we need to be? To somewhere even better. Welcome to Off the Record with me, Gia Santos, where we will have kwentuhan on life's plot twists, ikigai, and new chapters.
All right. Welcome back to another episode of Off the Record podcast with me, Gia Santos, where we have kwentuhan on life's plot twists, ikigai, and new chapters. And today we have a very special guest. They are a sci-fi and fantasy illustrator for tabletop games, comics, and children's books. They grew up in Laguna and actually went on to take up archaeology at the University of Toronto. Tama ba?
yes po. Yes po.
Tinanong talaga yung guest, no? Alright, so let's all hear it from Arthur Riel Cabezas. Welcome to the show,
Ay,
Arthur.
thank you for having me.
Ayan.
First podcast.
First
Guesting
podcast.
ever.
Yay!
Opo.
Thank you so much sa pagpapa-unlock ng aming imbitasyon
Yes,
for
thank you po.
this. So for those who are meeting you for the first time, Arthur, how would you introduce yourself?
Ayun, so I would introduce myself as like in a very creative person, professional nerd in a way.
Wow.
So I do freelance illustration and comics. So very interested po ako sa like speculative
Mhm.
fiction, and so I really like doing projects that
Mhm.
champion like inclusivity and
Mhm.
diversity and supporting the most marginalized communities
Nice.
and people like me really. So ayun po.
Yan. Okay. Arthur, kailan ka nag-start in this venture, ang career mo na pagiging illustrator?
Nung pandemic po. So kasi lahat po online and then quarantine. So dun ko po naisip na okay, I'll start posting online. I'll start posting art. And then from there, ang dami ko pong na-meet na ibang artists, and then from people seeing my work, dun dun ko po nakuha yung idea na what if I start trying to take commissions for art
Okay.
and like making money off of it, doing it more professionally. So
Okay.
it was really like meeting different people, also just pitching my work, applying, and then from there, like kahit remote lahat, nakita ko na, oh, pwede pala 'to na even kahit side hustle lang, I can make art for other people and then earn some money out of it, and then tuloy-tuloy na from there.
Okay, so Arthur, before all of this, you would say na yung art is really something that's an important part of your childhood ba? Like bata ka
Yeah.
pa lang ba na-discover mo na siya?
Opo, ever since I think
Okay.
and I started drawing from like mga animated movies kasi, so na-inspire ako dun, and then
Okay.
just continuously drawing ever since.
And then
Yeah.
what made you take up archaeology? Sorry, hindi ko,
Ay.
connected ba sila? I think baka may connection somewhere.
Medyo, but yeah,
Oo.
in my mind, parang very different worlds din sila minsan. Mahilig din kasi talaga ako sa history and culture. I like going to museums then. But then, I mean, growing up naman, I never knew how to take up archaeology as a job. Like, paano ba yun? Nung high school, I had a teacher na anthropology graduate. Parang
Okay.
nagtuturo siya ng social
This was in
sciences.
Laguna High School?
Opo.
Okay.
So, nagtuturo siya ng like social sciences, ganon. But anthropology yung background niya. So, in-introduce niya sa akin yung anthropology
Okay.
and like how it's studying different kinds of people and cultures, why people and society are the way they are. And then, from there, na-inspire ako na what if I study anthropology in college? Kasi, I got a scholarship to study abroad, and then they had anthropology. And then,
Okay.
na-discover ko dun sa anthropology classes namin na archaeology is a kind of anthropology in
Okay.
some disciplines na it's basically the anthropology of people in the past. So sabi ko, oh my gosh, this is so cool. Ito din yung interest ko nung bata ako
Okay.
na, excavations and exploring mga ancient artifacts and
Ooh.
sites. So, ayun, parang nag-snowball lang na um, from anthropology, archaeology, and then merong mga opportunities to try like field work.
Okay.
So, dun na yung naging final, parang final course. Kasi at
Okay.
first, inisip ko, what if I study art? But then,
Yeah.
mahirap din nung pandemic. But talagang nag-latch on yung interest ko dun sa archaeology na like, I mean, hindi naman puro art yung interest ko. So, wearing different hats din. So yung childhood interest ko and like just the wonder for history.
Okay. So
Yeah.
so yung yung college journey mo, this happened during the pandemic. Tama ba? Or not?
Parang nagsabay po.
Nagsabay
Like
siya.
nag-start yung college ko during the pandemic. So
Okay.
I think we were like one of the guinea pig batches
Okay.
of the pandemic.
Can we backtrack your story a bit?
Sige
Like
po.
kunyari simula childhood
Ayun.
and then how did you end up, 'di ba, from being interested in history, in art, you ended up getting a scholarship
Yeah.
sa Canada, tama ba?
Opo,
Yeah.
Canada.
Okay.
Yeah, so in growing up very interested ako with like,
Lot
just
of
reading. Yeah.
yeah.
Reading history books, science books, and then drawing. So basta a lot of really mga nerdy interests and just
Mm.
being really locked in sa books. And then nung high school, um that's when I started exploring the plans to apply to colleges, possibly
Okay.
abroad kasi I have family then na they tried the same thing.
Okay.
So they told me na, oh, you could try for a scholarship abroad. Try mo lang, like, if you get it, good. If not, then at least you tried. And so nagulat po ako nung um senior high ko, may nakuha po akong scholarship offer sa University of Toronto
Mhm.
as an international scholar. So sabi ko, okay, yeah, I'll take it. I mean, this never, parang
Yeah.
once in a lifetime opportunity. So the first 2 years, nag-pandemic, so I was taking my classes from here in the Philippines,
Okay.
but just on their schedule. So parang night shift
Night
yung
shift,
classes
yeah.
ko, opo. And then nung pwede nang bumiyahe, that was like third year. Sakto, that was when we had field schools for archaeology then na open na ulit. So I traveled started taking, just continuing yung coursework ko from the first and second year of the pandemic, pero now mas hands-on na kasi open na yung field, open na yung labs. So tinuloy-tuloy ko lang po, and then so I graduated last June, and so now I'm in the process of job hunting.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you just graduated last year, June.
Last year po.
Wow,
Opo.
congrats.
Thank
And
you.
then so parang ngayon yung work mo as an illustrator, it's not yet your full-on career. Kumbaga you're still looking for a
Yeah.
career in archaeology talaga, tama
Opo.
ba?
Yeah.
Okay.
Parang in my mind, hopefully, yun yung main job ko, archaeology,
Okay.
and then doing illustration as a side hustle. Although may overlap din kasi
Mhm.
we also did some like technical drawings for
Okay.
like mga artifacts, mga illustration. So may application din yung art background ko in a
Yeah.
way. Even yung like photography and documentation.
Yeah.
Like I saw that there's some overlap and there's some utility din to knowing how to draw.
Okay.
Kasi even on the field, like sketching what you're seeing, kasi very important po yung documentation. Yeah.
I have a question, Arthur. Kasi I think, relatively you've accomplished a lot as an illustrator. I checked your work. I think marami ka nang nailabas
Thank you.
na
Opo.
na 'di ba, na parang made it big. Why are you considering na itong side hustle mo as an illustrator is something that you can turn into a full-time career eventually, or
Maybe, hopefully, like if it ends up na parang yun yung nakalaan na plan for me.
Okay, so parang ngayon medyo go with the flow.
Go with the flow, like
Okay.
just see where
Tatama
things
naman.
go. But I mean, I'm open to it naman. Ang worry ko lang with doing illustration as a full-time job is like I get too overwhelmed with like like having to make art that sells.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, parang yung having to balance yung art
Yung
that's
the
true to myself.
yung passion mo. I think that's
Opo.
a common thing that people discover once they start turning their passions into something that they can earn from.
Opo.
Parang merong parang pressure
Yeah.
kasi you're no longer creating just for the sake of creating.
Yeah.
You're feeling the pressure, this has to sell, this has to resonate with para more people in order to make money.
Yeah.
And that's I guess I think tama ka dun. And
Opo.
Arthur, how old are you? Sorry if I don't mind.
Turning 24 in May.
Sobrang bata pa talaga.
Opo.
So,
Small path.
yeah, so ang dami pa talagang pwedeng pagdaanan sa path.
Opo.
At this age, are you familiar, Arthur, with the term ikigai?
Yes, ni-research ko po.
Wow.
Yeah.
Good
Yes.
job, thank you. So do you think, kasi ikigai, it's actually, may dalawang ways to interpret it, no? The Western way of talking about ikigai is it's supposed to be the intersection of four things, like what you love doing, what you're good at, what the world needs, and what you can get paid for. So it's a debate whether it's called ikigai or purpose lang talaga. But
Mm.
another way of looking at ikigai is the reason for being, basically the reason to wake up in the morning,
Yeah.
enjoying the small moments of everyday life. So for you, do you think you have an idea of what your ikigai or your purpose is, in either of the two?
Somewhat, I think related siya dun sa like that intersection of like my interest in art, my interest in like advocacy,
Advocacy.
and also like promoting local culture and heritage.
Yeah.
So far, very separate pa yung different interests.
Yeah, but I think I think if I'm going to I don't know, paano ba, integrate it,
Mm-mm.
it's all you.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's all you. Para ikaw yung
Mm.
intersection ng lahat ng interests na yun. And actually, something I wanna discuss then is, you mentioned earlier about inclusivity.
Yeah.
And I saw you talk a lot about, yun nga, gender identity, being a
Opo.
trans, and also having autism.
Yes
Tama
po.
ba? I wanna talk about that because it's something also
Yeah.
close to my heart. Can you tell me more about your advocacy on that?
Yeah, so nung high school, I was having a lot of mental health struggles,
Yeah.
and that's when like I started counseling,
Mhm.
and then from those counseling sessions, that's when we discovered that like I at the time they said it's Asperger's, but
Okay.
then that term isn't as used anymore. Parang
Oo.
it's considered part of the autism spectrum
Oo,
na.
it's
So
a spectrum basically.
yeah,
Oo.
yeah. So they said that like basically, you're autistic. Hindi lang siya na-detect earlier
Yeah,
when
yeah.
you're a child. But I mean, kasi very accommodating naman yung family ko with
Mm.
my quirks.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then from there, parang naging part na lang siya nung storytelling ko with comics. And then kasi there's a graphic novel, Doobie-Doo Asks, written by Ma'am Bambi Eloriaga Amago and her husband,
Okay.
si Sir Olan Amago. And then it was their journey about it was their own family's like autism journey. And then she wanted to make a children's book based on autism, like
Yep.
promoting autism then. And then they were looking for illustrators. So that's when I pitched myself na I would love to be part of this.
Okay.
Kasi I was also navigating my own like self-realization na, this whole time you're autistic and just didn't realize it. So
It
yeah,
yeah.
so we released that children's book parang to promote autism, especially here in the Philippines.
Yeah.
Kasi
Mm-mm.
I would see a lot of like advocacy na abroad, especially for like late diagnosed adults.
Mhm.
Parang hindi pa kasing widespread yung awareness dito.
That's so true. For me, well, I was diagnosed with depression, and then turns out it's bipolar.
Ah.
And then part of like my friends and I, sometimes we actually feel like we have symptoms also of being part of have the spectrum. But of course, ang hirap din i-navigate in the Philippines because not everyone's aware about it. And we have this connotation na parang ito yung stereotype. If you have
Yeah.
autism, ganito na, ay, wala ka namang autism, you're a functional member of society.
Yeah,
That's-
exactly.
So did you struggle with that also?
Yeah, parang yung iba hindi makapaniwala na autistic ka ba kinaya mo naman yung school, ganon.
Yeah.
But yun nga, it's a spectrum.
It's a spectrum.
And since we were mentioning gender identity then, kasi I was assigned female at birth,
Okay,
diba?
yeah.
And a lot of the stereotypes of autism have to do with boys or like people assigned male at birth.
Okay.
So, hindi pa kasing well-researched yung autism as it presents in like girls and women.
Okay.
Kaya yun yung isang theory why like a lot of people get diagnosed late pag ganun yung lived experience
Yeah.
nila. So,
Actually, I didn't know that. Ay, hindi ko alam yung ganun na mas ano pala siya, mas stereotype or mas nadidetect in born,
boys.
oo,
Mm-mm.
born male guys.
Yeah. So, ayun, parang coming from there, like, just using yung work ko with like promoting autism locally to also just
Mm.
parang come to terms with my own experiences. Yeah.
Most of your work ba as an illustrator revolve around those themes?
Yeah, I think so. Like, even if it's not the main thing, like normally I have a character who will be like neurodivergent, or I'll have like, ang joke namin is like I can't make a character who's like just straight and cisgender. Yeah. Like everything has to be, I mean,
Well,
kasi yun yung, you know,
ikaw
write what you know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's what resonates with you eh.
Yeah. And I mean, we really need that representation then.
Exactly.
Yeah. So it's really like I want to make stories that are about people like me so that they don't feel alone. Parang yun yung...
That's so true.
Mm-mm.
Kasi parang, I mean, actually, late din ako na-diagnosed with bipolar. So, growing up, I always felt that ay akala ko tamad lang ako. Or akala ko, parang, bakit di ako baka-focus? Ba't hirap na hirap ako? Is it just me? Am I wrong? What's wrong with me? And growing up, kasi walang ganung representation in media.
True.
Like, in the books that I read, parang nung time na yun, wala pa talaga masyadong talk about mental health, neurodivergence. And so I think what you're doing is really impactful, especially in
Thank
Philippine
you.
society.
Opo. Yeah.
Kasi ang laking like if my kids ngayon who are also like feeling nila na ay bakit parang naiiba ako sa mga kaklase ko, or I feel like I'm not what the expectations of society from me is not something that I can deliver.
Yeah.
Baka kasi it's not supposed to be that way. And here, ito may character that I can relate to, or a person that I can relate to.
Yeah.
That it can parang ano yun eh, I think the power of books or of comics, of characters that we can relate to is pag may struggle silang pinagdadaanan, we can kind of pattern after our response. Parang ganun ba yun? Yeah.
Like yung book namin, na-mention ko na ba yung title? It's hindi pa po. It's Too Loud.
Too Loud.
Soothing Sensory Overload with Music.
I love that.
Yes. And the two characters, kasi one has autism and the other is a neurotypical best friend. So
Okay.
it's both ways na we're showing like a character on the spectrum and what they're going through, but also showing like how can someone who's neurotypical be a good friend or like a caregiver.
I love that.
Para other kids, kasi for sure other kids in school might have like a classmate or a friend na autistic or neurodivergent. So what can they do to be a good classmate and just, you know, be a supportive
May
person in their life.
Thought process na nagbunga from that what you said.
Yeah.
Number one would be sensory overload. I
Yeah.
love that because not everyone is aware about that term. And parang, for example, my sisters and I think we're all neurodivergent. Pero growing up, hindi namin alam. So, parang, yung mga irritation ko nung bata, or parang whenever I get really, I don't know, out of sorts, sometimes it's just because of sensory overload na hindi napapansin din ng mga parents na hindi naman, or ng people around you that are not aware of that. So can you tell us more about, kasi yung title ng book, it's about soothing sensory overload with music.
Yes.
So can you tell us about?
Yeah, so sensory overload is in common sa neurodivergent folks na like stimuli like sa lights or sa sounds.
Senses, touch din.
Yeah, minsan for someone who's neurotypical, it might not be overwhelming for them. For someone, say on the spectrum, it might be like really overwhelming or even painful.
Yes.
So minsan ang mangyayari is sobrang overwhelmed and then magme-meltdown or magsha-shutdown
Yep.
or breakdown.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nagka-flashback yung ano ko sa
Oh my gosh.
Sorry.
Ayun. But obviously to neurotypical people, isipin nila like ba't ka nababother?
Oh,
I'm not bothered.
parang OA lang,
Ay,
ganun
parang
yung
OA.
label.
Yeah, or nag-iinarte lang.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. That's the common thing that's misunderstood about
Yes po.
neurodivergence.
Mm-mm.
So I like then yung what you said about I guess the plot of the book, na it's a neurotypical best friend.
Yeah.
Because sometimes then, when we're neurodivergent, when we have neurotypical friends, we expect them to understand. Pero talagang reality, what if hindi lang talaga nila alam?
Mm-mm.
And it's just a matter of educating them about what we're going through. Kasi for me, I have different sets of friends.
Yeah.
Meron akong neurodivergent friends, meron akong neurotypical friends.
Mm.
And sometimes, when I get overwhelmed and stuff, nagkadrama ako na, shit, di naman nila ako naintindihan kasi neurotypical sila. I don't know my struggle.
Yeah.
But if I open it up to them, they're like, but Gia, we want to understand you and to support. Kahit di man namin naintindihan, but we want to offer support the best way that we can. So it's just a matter of communication. And sobrang powerful ng ganyang kinds of available stories
Mm.
to be, parang reference
Mm.
of everyone in the society.
I wanted to ask then if like you know any books about like bipolar here sa Philippines.
Wala pa ako naririnig at all.
Oh.
Wala
Okay.
pa. Or baka hindi lang ako naghahanap pa talaga.
Mm.
But do you know any books?
I'm not familiar din
Diba?
po. Kaya
Parang,
I was curious tuloy.
Yun nga, kasi parang for me, I guess, either I haven't really explored that deep, but even if, the fact na wala pa ako narinig na kahit isa, probably it's telling then how far behind we are with the discussions of mental health and neurodivergence in the Philippine society. But I feel like it's about time. Mahirap din kasi siguro for me, if I'm gonna write a book,
Yeah.
I can share my experience as a neurodivergent person, but I think malaking bagay then to hear from like experts or
experts and just different kinds kasi not everyone who's neurodivergent is like they have the same experiences malamang.
Exactly.
So
Ang hirap.
you really have to like listen to different
Sobra.
perspectives.
And for me then, I think that's why I like yung concept of using literature, comics, tabletop games to talk about it because that's where we see other perspectives. Like, for example, sa akin din, the reason I was able to be aware about my symptoms that I possible pa lang na may bipolar ako, which triggered me to get checked again, get another opinion of a psych, is because a friend of mine was also just recently diagnosed and she was like, you know what? Hindi normal yan. Kasi sa akin, so parang backstory lang. Sorry, nagkwento din.
Yeah, go lang po.
Like, kasi parang I was diagnosed with depression 2017, but bata pa lang ako. I think I was 12. Alam ko na yung symptoms. But dahil hindi pa siya sikat sa society about itong mga neurodivergent stuff, I remember just looking at the magazine, may checklist doon. Symptoms of possibly having clinical depression.
Yes, relate.
Yeah. So I checked. So like, pero parang there's not enough support. My parents wouldn't understand yet because that time hindi pa well-educated ang mainstream media about it. So I was like, okay, whatever. Until bumalik siya 2017. So I got diagnosed. Pero parang, nung last year lang din, my friend and I were talking and she was telling me yung symptoms niya about bipolar na apparently, hindi pala normal na kaya mo matulog with just, kaya mo na you just have 1 hour of sleep and be functional for more than 24 hours.
Oh.
I thought that was normal. And she was like, dude, ganyan ako. And apparently, it's a symptom pala of bipolar disorder. So I was like, okay. So I had to get checked.
Is it a shared experience din ba with you na parang, like, a lot of your friends are also neurodivergent and so, like, sa inyo, you think it's normal.
Yeah.
But then you don't realize that
it's
not. Yeah, but then because you're with each other, you just
it becomes like a norm. Ikaw ba? Like, do you have a lot of friends but a neurodivergent?
Yeah, most of my friends are neurodivergent.
Okay.
Parang magnet.
Diba?
We find each other.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you have neurotypical friends then?
Some din, but overwhelmingly like neurodivergent in some way.
Yeah. And then how did you find these friends?
From school lang. And then
school then.
I think common shared interest din kasi so we just gravitated towards each other and then like a lot of my friends are still like friends from high school so we just really stuck together a lot.
Ang
Yeah.
laking bagay din talaga kasi that you find people who you can relate to.
Yeah, true.
Yeah. Yung friends mo ba, do they all, are they in the same industry as you? Like, do they also illustrate, ganyan, or write?
Some write,
Okay.
some illustrate, but iba't ibang interest. But I think it's cool na kahit super diverse nung backgrounds namin, like, ayun, we can mesh
Yeah.
together naman. Yeah. They're really cool friends. Yeah.
Sobrang lucky to be able to find friends na
Yes.
ganyan.
Yeah.
Okay. So Arthur, in your journey, 'di ba? So we discussed your childhood, your interest in art, and then itong yun nga, becoming trans, and also I guess yung sa neurodivergence
Yeah.
also. Ang dami mo ng pinagdaanan at
Yeah.
at 24. Can you identify, was there a certain point in your journey that was like a major plot twist moment for you?
Yeah, so in college, that was when I realized I was trans.
College pa.
Yeah.
Pero nung bata ka, did you also already parang have thoughts about it? Or
Yeah, pero kasi wala pang language at the time
that's,
to
yeah, that's
articulate
true.
it. Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah. Ang alam ko lang was like people would say, parang tomboy ka.
It's the very Filipino term pa
Yes.
na outdated.
Yes, but the term like trans later on na lang. And I had a friend in high school, friends actually, na parang nagko-question na rin. So
Okay.
that's when I started learning like mga LGBTQ plus like terminology. But I always just thought, okay, baka ally lang ako. Like,
Oh, really? You thought you were just an ally?
yeah, or di ko lang masyadong
Hindi pa napaprocess.
inapaprocess. Yeah, like how is this relevant to me?
Gets.
But then in college kasi, and lalo na in Canada, mas open-minded na sila. Mas marami ng resources. So they had like seminars
Okay.
about like transgender awareness and how to transition. Tapos doon ko nakita, oh, this might be me. Or like nakarelate ako. And I think at the time lang natatakot akong aminin. But
Okay.
then once I started learning about like trans experiences from other people then, like sobrang relate ako, and then sabi ko, okay, yeah, I think what if gusto ko nga yung like ganitong identity? Like what if I do wanna be a boy? And then nag-fall into place yung mga childhood experiences ko rin, like
Okay.
like halimbawa sa theater, gusto ko laging male role yung
Okay.
yung kukunin ko, or whenever I take on like pen names sa art or usernames online, gusto ko laging like masculine names.
Okay.
So that was like parang may signs na of me trying to break away from the identity like
you were born
imposed
with.
on me. Yeah. So in college, they said na there's ways to transition here, and the college will support it.
Wow.
So, and ang hirap lang kasi I'm away from home. I'm not with
That's
my
true.
family. So I really had to like communicate with them and explain everything na I want to explore this for myself. Will you support me kung ganon?
Okay.
Ang hirap lang nung process of like having to come out.
Of
right?
course, yeah.
Yeah. So, but then after that, whole like the start of the transition process, like I mean, coming out of the other side, it was like, oh, parang finally I feel like me.
You feel like you.
Yeah.
Magaan.
Magaan po. Yeah. Like mas comfortable na ako in my own skin, mas confident. So, and I mean it informed everything else then, even about like my creative process, how I work, kasi I don't know, like nag-shift lang talaga yung mindset ko now that it feels like I can embrace who I am. That kind of feeling.
Ang ganda, ang
Yeah.
ganda. Kasi parang nabanggit mo kanina na yung mga childhood things that parang bilang nag-click lang.
Yeah, nag-click.
Nag-click lang. It's a bit similar din to parang finding out that you're actually neurodivergent.
Yeah. Actually, now that you mention it nga, ang daming similarities. No?
Yung parang hindi mo alam, parang nag-make sense na bigla pag
Yeah.
binacktrack mo.
Yeah.
That's nice. So yun yung parang, I guess, major plot twist
Yeah.
in your life.
Literally plot twist na nag-change ng identity in a way. Yeah.
Ang so that was parang in the last 5 years lang or 4 years.
4 years. Parang I think third year ako nag-start ng transition ko. So that's about like 3 to 4 years.
Years ago.
Yeah.
Did you like what were the support resources that you had to um rely on to be
Mm.
able to go through that plot twist of yours?
So mainly family
Family.
first. So it was a lot of communication then with them. Thankfully, like a lot of my family is very open-minded and
That's
willing to learn naman.
sobrang
So
andun dun. Sobrang I guess swerte din in
yeah,
that aspect because not a lot of Filipino families are very
yeah,
open-minded, no?
yeah. And I think a big factor then is because like there are queer people already in our circle, in our
Mm,
family circle
okay.
that like
Make it easier for you
yeah.
to okay.
And then they can parang they were also like saying that we can advocate for you if you need parang queer
That's
elders.
oh,
So
that's so nice.
yeah. So
That's so heartwarming,
yeah,
no?
so ang laking privilege na supportive yung family. And
Yeah.
then friends, it was not a question really. Like they were really like, oh my gosh, parang rooting for
Supportive
yeah,
talaga.
supporting each
I
other.
love that.
Yeah. And obviously like the university, so their facilities for like social and medical transition. Um so things like something as simple as changing yung name sa university, like what appears on like the Zoom call
Ang
or in
galing, oo. So
attendance.
talagang there's a
Opo.
process for that they recognize.
Yeah, and also like the medical facilities, like someone who can help like facilitate your medical transition. So I mean, alam ko naman na it's possible din locally thanks to a lot of local orgs
Yeah.
supporting like trans Pinoy and trans Pinay
Mhm.
communities. Pero of course, iba pa
Iba
rin yung
din yung
access abroad.
yep.
Like it's a lot more commonplace, and I think people are more open to talking
People are
about
more
it then.
open. So
Yeah.
mas marami ding support resources, no, support
Yeah.
system
Yeah.
basically.
Yeah.
Aside from so you mentioned family, friends, did you parang have any books that you read or any
Mm.
parang things that you watched or any parang talks that you attended, ganyan, that helped you navigate this plot twist, this
Yeah.
major plot twist in your life?
Yeah. So one was a young adult novel.
Okay.
So it's titled Hell Followed with Us
Hell followed with us.
by Andrew Joseph White. So
Okay.
it's a YA like horror dystopia,
Okay.
which is it was my first like horror read talaga. It's about this trans boy
Mm-hmm.
who has to escape like a white supremacist evangelical cult that
Okay.
brought the end of the world. Sobrang hardcore ng premise, but it was the first book I read with
Excuse me.
like a transgender protagonist then,
Okay.
trans boy then. And it's written in first person point of view, and the way the character voice, it was so accurate to like my headspace as a teenager. Yung yung parang trans rage angst. Like
Trans rage.
yes, yeah, yung
Parang kuhang-kuha niya yung
yeah, like sobrang accurate. And then I never saw myself in like a young adult novel that way, even with other young adult novels like I grew up with. So just that feeling na okay, I wasn't weird or like being cringe as a teen. Like this is something that a lot of other like queer teens go through na parang, like we don't know how to express our feelings, so it ends up being internalized through a lot of messy
Oo.
ways. And then meron ding factor yung like, having to navigate like conservative religious
Oo.
upbringings. So that's one book.
Ang
Yeah.
galing. I just wanna pause a bit here and let it sink in because
Yeah.
I'm processing it. Basically, it's just a book that's
Yeah.
about horror, dystopian,
Yeah.
but it's just so happened that the protagonist is a trans boy.
Yeah.
And from that simple angle alone, ang dami mong na-process with your own journey because you
Yes.
were able to read the book from the lens of another trans boy.
Yeah.
That's how powerful
Yeah.
literature is.
Yeah, parang he sounds just like me. When I was like the
Yeah.
same age as him, na parang I think he was 16 in the book. So I was like, my 16-year-old self sounded exactly like this. Ang cool.
Ang powerful nun. Kasi parang ngayon, na-validate yung experience mo na hindi lang ikaw, it wasn't a weird thing for you.
Yeah, parang it was what like sabi ko nung coming out of my teens, I was like I was so angry as a teen. But then now that I read like the novel and exploring other like trans media and
Oo.
novels then abroad, parang sabi ko, oh, I was angry for a reason, or like alam ko na ngayon
Saan galing?
saan galing. Yeah,
Oo.
like it was that feeling na I'm not I'm not able to be myself. So parang nagre-resist
Exactly.
ako. Yeah.
Kasi ang galing din, no? So parang let's talk about that particular book. The plot isn't revolving around the identity of the boy necessarily. Tama ba? Or medyo ganun din
Medyo
yung dating?
central din.
Central din siya that.
Yeah.
Pero it was, tawag dito, yung plot niya is more, ano yung pwede mo ibigay na kwento na hindi masyadong spoil.
Yun. So like he has to escape yung cult.
Yung cult.
Yeah, that
okay.
raised him. And then he ends up with an LGBTQ plus center.
Ah,
And the leader of that center is also a gay autistic boy.
okay.
Siya yung love interest.
Oh.
And speaking of, I found it so cool that the love interest is autistic, and like the way he's framed like in the writing, it's not the stereotypical, like, I don't know, masyadong honed in on like the autistic traits, but like
Okay.
showing an autistic character as someone attractive and cool.
Ooh,
So
that's nice.
yeah, it was really refreshing to read.
Yung mga quirks ng mga neurodivergent, tas parang ganun ba?
Yeah,
Or-
and then also like them learning to interact with each other and communicate.
Mm.
So, and then like there's times where like the autistic love interest prefers to communicate in writing.
Mm.
So
So, ang galing na
yeah,
parang na-represent how the dynamics actually could be in the real world. And then,
yeah. And then
yeah.
ayun, so they have like a center, and then they have to stop the cult essentially. Kasi the main character, he came from the cult. He was like infected with a virus that will
Okay.
parang zombie
Okay.
na the cult wanted to turn him into like a weapon.
Cool.
So now
okay.
they're figuring out how can we use that weapon against the cult. Ganon.
It's nice.
Yeah.
Okay. Are there other books pa that you read that made an impact on you with your journey?
Other books. I also read Iron Widow by Shiran J. Zhao. It's
Okay.
a YA like mecha novel.
What's a mecha?
Like
Sorry.
big robots, parang Transformers,
okay.
Gundam. Yeah.
It's-
So it's based on Chinese mythology but with mecha. It's like an alternative retelling of the only empress in China's history. So, and very centered din siya on like this one naman parang female rage and patriarchy. So, yun, may exploration din of like gender dynamics and navigating like male dominated spaces. So, parang ano lang kasi, like growing up with YA and middle grade novels, I feel like there's an expectation na like the characters have to be like good examples, role models na unproblematic by the end. So like novels like these, I feel like what I gravitated towards with them was how it's really showing like messier or like flawed characters.
Which is dapat naman talaga makita ng
Yeah.
yeah.
And like messiness, especially as it relates to them being like queer, or being just someone who's treated as different in society,
Yeah.
and how they fight back. And isa pa yun, yung like the way fighting back is celebrated in the books, or
I
like
love
it's
it.
honored. It's
Okay.
not seen as like or like you have to be the bigger person. You can't.
I think it's about time that we actually show that fighting back is something that we need to do and
Actually,
celebrate.
yeah, like resistance as
Yeah,
something
yeah,
that's
yeah.
good.
Oo.
Not just parang sometimes it's seen as like a bad way of advocating for yourself, but
But
Yeah.
parang well, for me kasi I grew up talaga rebel.
yeah,
like
yeah,
like talagang even if you're an authority figure, if you're an older person, but if you don't treat me with respect, or I feel like you don't, your point is something that can be argued,
Mm.
or I would really like fight back and advocate for myself. And I think ang gandang ma-reflect kanyan sa literature, no, because lalo na pag you're belonging to a minority,
Mm-mm.
tapos sasabihin sa'yo you have to be the bigger person.
Yeah.
Parang, why?
Ang hirap.
Ang hirap eh. Parang, but yeah, so ang ganda nung ganyang libro, no? Yung mga ganyang libro yung talagang, I guess, ang laking impact if it reaches more people.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true. Like sometimes I check sa mga bookstores locally if these books, kasi I first saw them sa Canada, like, are they here? And thankfully they are. But
Okay.
obviously, like, iba pa rin yung access in terms of how much are the books here,
Yeah.
like,
And I
cost
would
and
also like to think na I don't know if meron ding mga Filipino authored books that have the same plots. Because I think
yeah.
iba pang element or layer yung
Mm.
Filipino culture.
Yeah, like, yung napaka-specific and napaka-unique ng experiences of, like, queer people and women in the Philippines, is even
Yes.
compared to, like, LGBTQ plus and, like, feminist movements
In
abroad, 'di ba?
sobra.
Yeah. So far, I'm trying to recall kung may published books, but kasi I table at, like, local conventions, mga comics
Yeah.
events, and I can see na, like, self-published comic artists, and, like, zine creators, they're pushing, like, that's where I see a lot of the um like, queer-centric
Oo.
media. Parang, when was that? 2019, I think, was my first visit to, like, a comics convention, and then they had a lot of, like, sapphic zines. There's also yung I forget the title if this is accurate. Yung Ligaw Tingin anthology from Gantala Press. It's
Okay.
like an anthology from different sapphic Filipino authors. And I think that was, like, the first comic na nabasa ko na, oh my gosh, it's about, like, Filipino lesbians, and, like, especially seeing butch representation, kasi
Yeah,
that
yeah.
was what I identified with at the time.
Oo.
Yeah. So, ayun, malaking bagay yung mga small publications and, like, indie authors, kasi I feel like it's hard din to promote the books locally with, like, a lot of stigma pa rin.
Yeah, but I think we're on the fact that they are starting
Mm.
to pop up more na.
Mm.
I think mas nagkakaroon na tayo ng access
Mm.
and mas tumatapang na rin
Yeah.
yung
Yeah.
mga tao to create content around those themes.
Yeah. And
But-
then, like, last year lang, I remember there were two anthologies. One was yung Gigil. It was a
Okay.
GL anthology from local authors published by Comiket. And then the other was BL anthology naman,
Okay.
Alapaap, which is I submitted a comic entry there. So I have a comic in Alapaap, but ayun, parang nakita ko from those books being released how, how big of an impact it is for, like, the experience I had going to a con and then seeing, like, queer comics for the first time locally, and then parang seeing it reflected in other con-goers now, or, like, younger attendees especially, and then they see it and it's like, oh my gosh, may ganito. Yeah, it's really cool.
Sobrang ang laki talaga ng role ng media, ng literature to impact yung lives of these young people din. Parang tayo, sorry, nakiki-age ako sa'yo. Mas tanda ako. Like, nakiki-age ako. Parang, when we were young, we didn't have all of these terms, this access. So now, I guess it's on us to, even if, I don't create, but it's about promoting and making sure that these works actually reach the right audiences and the right readers. Like, that's so powerful.
Yeah.
For you, Arthur, as an illustrator, you mentioned that you're still exploring your path as an archaeologist or as an illustrator.
Yeah.
But do you feel like pasimula ka pa lang sa work mo as
Pasimula.
an illustrator?
I think so, yeah. Parang I still have a lot of
Marami ka pang gustong gawin?
dreams of, like, maybe making my own graphic novel, pitching
Ooh.
bigger projects like that. Hindi ko pa lang na-manifest, but I'm hoping na now that I have more control over what I want to pursue now that I've graduated, I have more time. Like, yun ang mga big goals ko, like, get my own graphic novel done, get more comics done. May mga, like, dream projects or games I would love to work with.
Nice.
So, ayun, parang for me, it really feels like fresh start, especially
Fresh
that I just graduated, and then in coming out of the pandemic, then now that there's more opportunities to meet people in person, parang like,
Oo, parang
Um,
lumalabas na ulit ngayon yung pag-socialize in person, it's just a different
mm,
thing. Ang
mm.
dami pang possibilities for
Yeah,
you also.
yeah. And even with archaeology, like, ayun, I'm still going through like the job application gauntlet,
Oo.
but I would really love to like do field work again. And but
Na-enjoy mo din talaga siya, no?
it's fun kasi
It's
parang ano, outdoor hands-on work. And it's like adventure, discovering a lot of stuff in the ground.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, I hope that I get to continue that. Depends how job hunting goes, but
Yeah. I
it
mean,
really feels like, I still have a lot to learn, a lot
ang
to
ngayon ba,
experience.
ilan na yung parang published work mo as an illustrator?
So far, I think including anthologies. So one children's book. I have another one I'm developing with the same
Okay.
publisher about ADHD naman.
Ooh.
Yes.
Yes.
So parang sibling book to the first one.
Okay.
And then ayun, I've had some comics when like two anthologies so far, and then the rest is like illustrations for
Yung mga
like
tabletop
tabletop.
games.
Yeah, so
Can we list down yung mga, can you share yung mga titles ng mga work ko para our audience can look them up if they're interested to support?
ayun. So
Sige.
for children's books, I'm not sure if I'm allowed to release na yung like
Sige.
about the ADHD one,
Okay.
but that's in the works.
Okay.
The one about autism with Ma'am Bambi
Mhm.
as the writer is Too Loud.
Ayun yung sinabi mo kanina.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
For tabletop, I've illustrated for, I think the most recent one was the card game for the Queen from Darrington Press, which is the imprint of Critical Role for people who are familiar with D&D. Yeah. And then I've also illustrated with Islands of Sinauna. So this is a really cool project. It was a supplement for D&D,
Mhm.
Dungeons and Dragons. It's like a pre-colonial Filipino supplement to make your game like a Philippine fantasy setting, and
Mhm.
it's made by like an all Filipino team, both from here and from the diaspora. So that's one. Um, I'm trying to recall. The other one I illustrated for was Gubat Banwa, which is it's an indie TTRPG tabletop game.
Mhm.
And it's made here by local artists then. It's also like Southeast Asian fantasy type of game, role playing. Um and then for the like comics anthology, so ayun, Alapaap, and then also the community anthology about animals from both from Comiket. So then I also have like a couple of like self-published zines.
Mm.
Yeah. So
Nice.
ayun po.
Okay. Thanks for sharing those works. Grabe, no? At 24 years old, ang dami mo nang release. And I'm sure that you're gonna be doing so much more. And yung, gusto ko rin idagdag, no? Yung thought process ko kanina, you were sharing about your love for archaeology and also your love for illustration. And I guess something that I want to share with you, parang, I have this thing that I called a divergence and convergence, parang pattern. Na parang in life, you go through that rhythm, you
Mhm.
diverge and then you converge. Parang
Oh.
in diverging means you try a lot of the things that you wanna try.
Mhm.
Eventually, magko-converge sila to the essence of everything. So feeling ko yung archaeology passion mo is something that's really gonna influence your work as an artist.
Yeah.
Na it's all connected.
Especially since napansin ko a lot of the projects I'm working on have like a huge focus on promoting Filipino cultures.
Yeah.
So very helpful to have that background in
Yeah.
like, Philippine history.
Sobra.
Yeah, and like knowing how to yung research research habits.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Malaking bagay din when you create
Mm-mm.
literature and ano no.
Yeah.
Lalo na you're planning to create a graphic novel
Opo,
then
opo.
also.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So we're almost done.
Mhm.
Last few questions na lang siguro for you, Arthur. You mentioned already a couple of books earlier that impacted your journey.
Yeah.
But do you have any other books that you feel like impacted, not necessarily kahit hindi yung sa plot twist mo lang, but anytime throughout your journey?
Yeah, so one is This Is How You Lose the Time War by Max Gladstone and Amal El Mokhtar.
Okay.
It's two authors, it's a novelette. It's like a sapphic sci-fi enemies to lovers.
Enemies to lovers. I like
yes,
that kind of
rivals to lovers, yes. Hindi naman like hindi naman masyadong related in terms of yung experience ko, but it was like a comfort book to read.
Okay.
Just because the writing is so beautiful. Kasi the two authors, each of them write each of the leads. So it's written in the style of like the leads writing letters to each other
Mhm.
as they're going through like their rivalry in like the war in the setting.
Mhm.
And because it's like about time travel, there's some topics about history and also like speculating about what the future looks like. And napaka-profound lang ng mga like philosophical reflections in the writing, and
Oh.
it's yun nga,
Oh.
and it has that sapphic romance undertone din na parang they're falling for each other despite being enemies, and then they have all these like reflections about life, and just the writing, it's so poetic and so unique. So
Gusto kong basahin yan. I mean,
yes.
gusto kong I like how you explained it, eh. Kasi for me, I'm a huge non-fiction reader.
Mm-mm.
Hindi ako masyadong ma-fiction. But
Mm-mm.
you mentioned na parang ang daming mga philosophical things that was mentioned in the
Yeah.
book. So parang ako, oo nga no, parang pwede rin pala ako makapulot ng mga ganong insights from fiction.
Yes,
I love that. Thank you for sharing that. I'm gonna
yes, welcome
Sige.
po. Yeah. So, and I always go back to it. And kasi it's about time travel. So I
Yeah.
noticed na may pagka-meta na when I read it like second, third time, I'm picking up things that I didn't pick up in the first read. So there's
Ganda
that like
nun.
time travel aspect or experience then when I was reading it
Okay, that's
multiple
nice.
times. So ayun. I think kasi nung like college years ko, I was so focused on reading a lot of non-fiction in terms of like college readings.
Oo.
Kaya naghahanap ako ng
Ng
fiction to
ng
like,
pahinga.
decompress. Kaya mostly fiction yung
Decompress.
mga
That's nice.
recommendations.
Which is actually sobrang people kasi parang napansin ko, sorry, nag-off tangent ng konti. Tapos mamaya yung next book. Like, napansin ko kasi sa reading community, hating-hati yung fiction readers versus non-fiction readers.
Yeah.
Tapos may judgment on both sides.
Ang weird.
Minsan ganun eh, na parang hindi naman eh, kasi like ang dami ding lessons and impact na mapulot from fiction. Ako like, I'm a non-fiction reader, but one of the books that really made an impact in my life is a fiction book. It's The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho.
Yes, The Alchemist.
Yeah. Have you read that
Yes.
also?
A long time ago, but ang ganda. I mean,
Diba?
yeah,
Impactful.
mind-blowing.
Yeah. So ang galing kasi talagang regardless kung fiction or non-fiction, there's always something that you can get from a book.
Mm.
Yeah. So sorry, ano yung next other books that you
Other books.
impacted your life?
The other one was Aristotle and Dante, Discover the Secrets of the Universe by Benjamin Alirezines. I don't know how to pronounce the surname. Sorry.
Okay lang. Pag reader ka talaga, hindi mo alam.
Yeah, it's it's a queer love story then between two like Mexican American boys.
Okay.
So I mean, nung binasa ko siya kasi parang similar thing na I see myself in the headspace of the main characters, or like medyo nakaka-relate ako with like these teens questioning yung identity nila and like having to navigate family, and especially this one was about like queer boys, so yung navigating like toxic masculinity and expectations from like their family of how they should act, and
Yeah.
and then also how it intersects with them being like diaspora Mexicans. So parang yung play of like navigating their identity in their culture. So when I read that, parang ano lang, like comforting to read also, and just really meaningful then. Okay, yeah, these are books where like I see myself in the main characters, and I can really, even if it's not like a 1:1, very different pa rin yung experiences, but then just knowing that there are other people like you, right? Yeah.
That's nice.
I think the book, I mean, parang sa pagkakaalam ko, there's aspects of it that have been criticized na it's like outdated or product of its time. So, but even then, I think malaki din yung impact.
Yeah.
Yeah.
May makukuha pa rin.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Meron pa ba?
Meron-
Sorry, kung wala lang yung may pressure.
these are more not necessarily related to actually no. There is one that's representation related then. So this one was like the canon event book as a kid, Percy Jackson. Yes.
Okay.
And ang funny story ko dun is I attended like a Greek mythology class in college, and then the professor asked like, "Why are you all here? Like, what inspired you to take this class?" Everyone said Percy
Percy
Jackson.
Jackson.
Ang laki ng impact ng book from that. Like,
Oo nga, wait lang, ka-age mo nga yung kapatid ko. Kaya
oh,
nga, kasi Percy
oh yeah,
Jackson din.
Percy Jackson generation.
Oo.
Yeah,
Gets. Okay. Okay.
yun like yung urban fantasy
Oo.
thing. Like it really that was when I really got into reading as a kid. That was the
Oh.
book, and I realized ko like thinking about it now. A lot of the characters have ADHD and dyslexia.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow. Hindi
So
ko alam yun, ah.
yeah, so rare instance of like especially in that time, like very just natural part of the story type of representation na it's not like, overblown. It's just like, oh, these
It's normal lang.
yeah,
It's part of everyday life.
yeah,
Parang
like oh,
ganun.
these characters in fantasy they have ADHD. Ganon. It's framed in a way na parang them being the characters being like half god. It it's part of like their ADHD becomes like a strength in their powers.
Ayan, alam mo,
Yeah.
magbabasa na talaga ako ng fiction.
And I remember the author
Okay.
mentioned that he wrote the books because his son has ADHD. So he made the
Oh,
story to give his son like characters he could relate to then.
ang galing. I didn't know these things. Thank you for
And
sharing. Ang galing, ang galing.
it's a really good book. I highly recommend.
Sige, pag may time talaga ako, maraming babasahing fiction sa mga nirecommend mo. Oh my God.
Opo. And it's a really good series, like classic for
Mm.
I mean classic, but it's not. It's only like what early two
Oo,
thousands.
pero
But
ang galing
yeah,
eh, no?
it's a canon event. Ano.
Nice. May na-mention kang isa pang libro na parang sa'yo mo not necessarily representation related but made an impact pa rin sa'yo.
Yeah. The first graphic novels I read, Amulet by Kazu Kibuishi.
Mhm.
So, like, it's a really nice, like, cozy middle grade fantasy. It was the first book I read na parang first graphic novel that I discovered in like my school library. I was really obsessed. I started drawing like comics right
Ooh,
after that, like just scribbles on like pencil paper. So I always go back to those books na, ang laking inspiration, and
nice.
like it's a really nice like adventure type read. Just cozy, yung parang nostalgic.
Nice.
Yeah.
So, Arthur, meron na lang talaga akong final last
Yeah.
2 questions for you. Mabilis na
Okay.
lang to. First is, for those who are maybe aspiring to be an illustrator or to write their own graphic novel or comics eventually, kasi yung bunso kong kapatid, ganun, like, she wants to also pursue
Mm.
being an illustrator, yung
Yes
art
po.
niya and ganyan. So, what advice can you give them about pursuing a career in this industry?
Yeah, so first is just continue practicing like your illustration craft, just continue drawing, getting better. Second is finding fellow artists, having a community kasi you're also gonna be the ones to support each other when you pursue your career. So like I noticed that a lot of the opportunities I get are because like an artist friend can refer me to someone they know, ganon.
Mhm.
And also once they're ready, if they want to like putting their work out there. So even if it's not online yet, like even just participating sa mga local maybe cons or um yeah, if they want to go that route of like posting their art online and then connecting with people there, like I really I want to emphasize like community kasi
Community talaga.
like the way like a good way to get opportunities talaga is to support fellow artists, and then it comes back to you na um you're gonna find people who would like love to work with you on this like things that you have like shared interests with.
Mhm.
So like with me napansin ko na I found people who are also interested in like culture and promoting like diverse voices. So like I had like the privilege to work on projects na ganun din yung theme, like, and thankfully like I don't have to parang decide between art that interests me versus art that pays kasi this one was like both.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yun, just focusing on your craft and also just supporting like other people who are on like the same path as you. Ano pa ba? Ayun, on the more like practical advice, ayun, getting a portfolio organized.
Mm.
Yeah, kasi the portfolio is like the main thing that's gonna like help you get doors open.
Gets. So
Yeah.
parang as early as now, i-build na nila yung portfolio nila.
Mm. Yeah,
Okay.
and it's so obviously gonna be a work in progress naman
Yeah.
na as you get better, your portfolio will improve. So, but just having it ready na at any point, if you wanna like apply or pitch, you have something to show for.
Okay.
And also there's people kasi who facilitate like portfolio reviews.
Okay.
So, or
Ganun pala.
even more casual type na just having someone like a friend review the portfolio, like a fellow artist friend, just to get like a second pair of eyes of like what works, what doesn't, what can we organize. So, ayun. And just being perceptive then to like marami ng resources online to do art and how to like do a career in art. So, ayun, just being very open-minded to those resources then
Okay.
and seeking them out. Yeah.
Thanks for that very practical and insightful advice,
Mm.
Arthur. Tawad pala, dalawa pa, isa pa.
Sorry, go lang po.
Isa pa. Ito naman, what would be your advice to people who might be undergoing their own plot twists in life? Na maybe same or not as yours, but just going through something that's big plot twist.
Yeah, mainly like you're not alone, we're not alone. Siguro like my main struggle with my plot twist was like feeling really isolated. But and then it's like I don't see the light at the end of the tunnel yet. Like what if like even now with yung transitioning period, it's so murky, so messy now. What if I don't get a job? Ganon. Like, yung mga ganong anxieties or
Okay.
like what if halimbawa yung transition ko as a trans person doesn't work out, but then just knowing that like other people go through the same anxieties, like you know, you have people you can rely on naman.
It's nice.
Yeah.
Thanks for that reminder. Love that. And the bonus question lang talaga to eh. If your life were a book, what would the title be?
Ang hirap. Ito, I wasn't able to take notes for.
Yun yung point, surprise siya. Kahit top of mind lang. No judgment, no pressure.
Ah, I like long titles pag
Go lang.
but I'll try to keep it short. Maybe something like in flight or mid flight. Parang just that sense of like I'm well in the literal sense na I'm all over the place because I'm traveling a lot because of my work, but also that feeling of my identity and my different interests constantly being like a state of being in between lagi and
Nice.
just embracing na you don't have to like fit into one or the other strictly, but like it's okay to embrace the fact that you're like mobile or like constantly shifting. Yeah.
Ang ganda nun. Hindi ka ba talaga nag-prepare?
Hindi pa.
Sige. So, thank you so much again, Arthur, for joining us in this podcast. Itong podcast na Off the Record, it's actually part of our initiative of a platform we're launching. It's called Reco.Asia. And ang advocacy natin is to make Filipino-authored books discoverable and accessible to more people. So, matching the right book to the right reader. And we hope na yung some of your works, especially your future work, will be on the platform para mas ma-discover ng people who need to read them. Especially
Yes.
tayo, di ba, na nakahanap ka ng mga books that you were able to resonate with.
Opo.
That's the goal, na makahanap din yung mga tao through Reco ng books that they can resonate with.
Mm.
So, yun, again, thank you so much,
Thank you so much po.
Arthur. Sige, so that's it, guys. Thank you for listening to Off the Record.
I guess that's it for today's Kwentuhan. Thank you for listening, and I hope you enjoyed the episode. I'm Gia Santos, and for more info about us and the books we recommended, check out the description below. Follow us on social media, and we'd love to hear from you. Off the Record podcast is brought to you by Reco Asia, your gateway to Filipino books and authors. See you in the next episode.